Yeah, they that match was arguably our gold medal match.
It was electric.
Yeah, that's what we were looking forward to, seeing them. It didn't matter what match, if it was the semi or the gold finals, but we knew we wanted to see
You
them.
wanted Korea, huh?
Yes.
And then, of course, the match against the Italians, also an excellent match as well. Just didn't go your way, but great competition back there. And once you've been there, everything else, I won't say it's easy.
No.
But you've been there before.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can call upon that experience.
Yep.
The Japanese will try to call upon their experience here in the men's gold medal match in Antalya, Turkey. And it will be Japan, Korea one more time. We saw this in the women's gold medal match. Now it's Takahiro Furukawa, Shungo Tabata, and Shohei Ota shooting for the Japanese team, which this week knocked off Malaysia, the United States 222 to 220, and defeated China 221 to 217. They'll have their hands full with the #1 seeded Korean team, which this week was 16 points better than Belarus, 1 point better than the Ukraine, and defeated Turkey by only 2. You know, in baseball, they talk about murderers row, the Yankees. It's kind of that way with this Korean team here, the men. Im Dong-hyun, Lee Sung-yun, and Oh Jin-yek. 3 very, very strong recurve archers.
And much like the Yankees, they're arguably the most well-supported team in the world.
It's another way to compare them, yeah.
Yes.
They have a George Steinbrenner over there?
Probably.
Probably. So Korea will be on target #1 and Japan on target #2. I don't know if you were able to step out there this morning. Would you have a preference in terms of which target you were shooting at?
Not really. I mean, a lot of people are shooting on target 2, are having a little bit of issues, but to me it doesn't matter.
So Korea shooting for its 2nd gold medal this morning, and they start off with an 8 almost on the line.
Yet again, low right, just like every other team has shot thus far.
So Mr. Oh Jin-yek, the Olympic gold medalist. And he's in the 10 ring to start things off. You always like to get that first shot off into the 10 ring, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely nice to start the match that way individually.
Builds the confidence.
Nice quick shot there.
Excellent shot for Japan to start off the match. Takahiro Furukawa, who was 2nd at the Olympics in London when he faced off against Oh Jin-yek. Now they're facing off again in team competition here in Antalya. Pair of 9s to start it off for Japan. And Shungo Tabata can actually give his team a 1-point lead. Takes his time, and it's below the line. So it's in the 7 ring.
Those were the exact shots that he was shooting against us when they ended up beating us in the quarterfinals. But when he was shooting against our team, he was getting 10s out of those. So
there's a 10 for Korea by Lee Sung-yun. Im Dong-hyun now. And Im inside the line with a 10. And Oh Jin-yek now. The first Korean man to ever win an individual Olympic title. A hero back home in his country of Korea. And he drills 2 10s to start off the match. So right away, the Korean contingent sending a message. 8 points posted by Shohei Ota. And now the man ranked 5th in the world, Furukawa, with a 10. Tabata, as you might remember, picked up the bronze medal in individual competition last month at stage 1 in Shanghai. And a much better shot that time.
Yes, definitely.
5-point lead for the team.
That being said, though, it's a 5-point lead for Korea.
Yeah, not many teams can hang with them out of the gate. It's definitely a tall thing to call for.
With 18 arrows to go.
Is it intimidating, do you think, for some of these teams to try to go up against Korea?
Oh, definitely. And I think that's why they're so successful, is because they have that
aura about
that
them.
aura, for sure. And it definitely affects a lot of people.
You know, you hear about that in golf with Tiger Woods, that some guys are just intimidated when they're paired up with him and they have to play around with him.
Oh, yeah.
And do that. There is an aura around some teams and some individuals. You have to wonder about that individual. But getting back to the subject, no, I only wish I could do something like that.
That looks like fun.
It does look like fun. It's a good way to watch the second stage of the Archery World Cup tour here in Antalya. But I've got to imagine for some of these teams it is tough to take the field against Korea.
Yeah, they definitely, especially if they haven't ever beat them, they don't know that they're not invincible. So it's definitely a daunting task to some.
Is the thought that these guys just don't miss, so that puts more pressure on you, and you try to be even more perfect, and then you end up missing a shot or two?
That can definitely happen. I think it's just the aura affects somebody so much that they don't know their normal shot. They can't stay on their normal shot, and it just the overwhelming pressure happens. I don't think that they try too hard or be too careful. It's just that's the way they are. You know, they're a powerhouse right now.
So Japan trying to make the uphill climb, and they'll start off with an 8 from Shohei Ota, who won a team silver medal this year at the Asian Grand Prix in Bangkok.
Only 1 arrow above the center line.
His first shot is an 8, and now it's Takahiro Furukawa, who won a men's team silver medal at stage 2 here in Antalya 2 years ago. He's in the 9 ring.
Right is perfect. Below the 10 ring.
Mr. Tabata, who saw his world ranking shoot up to 53rd after that bronze in Shanghai last month. And he's feeling a little bit better after that 9. Leading off for Korea, Lee Sung-jun, and leading off with a home run.
Yeah, that 8.99 from Japan is just not going to cut it right now, especially with these guys up here.
9 points.
Again, it's that analogy about bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yep. Although Korea is the only team so far to have a group centered in the target, you can definitely see that.
Oh Jin-hyek, number 1 in the world,
Oh, he does
and
it
you can
again.
see why.
Yep.
Has taken 3 shots. All of them have been 10s. Oh Jin-hyek, who we'll see in the men's gold medal match this afternoon.
7.
Back to Japan, and Shohei Ota with a 7. And 10 points for Furukawa, who finished 18th at the 2004 Summer Games in Athens, was 33rd at the Summer Games in Beijing, before coming up with that silver medal at the Olympics in London last fall. Tabata with a 10. So Japan picking things up just a little bit. Were it not for that 7,
Arguably could be in a better position, but I still don't think it'd be enough.
The Koreans don't tend to open the door very much for you to get back into a match.
Definitely not.
And the grouping, in a word, outstanding.
Yes.
Im Dong-hyun. You get the feeling it's now almost a competition within themselves. They're not even thinking about Japan as much.
Yep.
They're competing amongst themselves.
Yeah, they're just teeing off right now.
Domination from Korea.
Unbelievable shooting.
15 points on the board.
Everything in the gold rings in that second end, as Korea shows its dominance in recurve archery. And even the Japanese archers seem to understand that what they're up against right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it definitely shows in their technique that they're using right now. It's definitely changed a lot since we shot against them a couple days ago.
How so?
Their timing's a lot longer. Their cohesiveness as a team is just not there. You know, they're not communicating. They're not as cheerful about it, and you can tell that they've pretty much have given up here.
Well, and again, it goes to show what going up against a team like Korea, no disrespect to anybody else, but going up against them, what it will do psychologically. They just take it out of you, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely can.
You got to be mentally strong to.
Yeah, you really do, and you really, I think you have to be a cohesive team compared to way more so than Korea. You know, Korea, as you can tell, they're not really communicating. And I think that's, obviously they have 3 good shooters, so they probably don't need to communicate.
There's not much to talk about, is there?
But if they had three good shooters that communicated like we do, you know, I think they would be very, very strong, much stronger than they are now. And no other team in the world really communicates like we do. You know, the American men's team, and we're constantly adjusting and calling off on the wind. Where did we aim? Where did we not? So that way we can help our teammates. We're actually acting like a team. You know, I think we were the first team to ever really treat team rounds like a true team event when in London.
And that had to be a key to your victory over Korea.
Oh, totally. I mean, I've never felt more confident in my teammates' ability to tell me where I needed to aim, because London, it was tricky wind. We couldn't read the wind, so it was impossible. But still, you know, we were adjusting off each other's arrow flights, which, you know, I don't think any other team in the world was doing.
Yeah, and as I recall watching that match, you could just feel the momentum building, and you were each feeding off of each other.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and that helps immensely, and that's what, you know, Japan was doing when they shot against us in the quarterfinals, and they just don't have it right now. I think that's what they're missing.
Furukawa, his first shot of the third end, a good shot in the 10 ring. So Furukawa still putting up a fight. Shungo Tabata, who put up a good fight in Shanghai at stage 1. And as the result, came away with a bronze medal. In the 9 ring,
Mr. Lee shooting for Korea. The new kid on the block, as it were.
now the 18-year-old, unranked Lee Sung-jung.
9 points.
But you surround him with Im Dong-hyun and Oh Jin-hyek.
Yep, that's a formidable team right there.
Yes, it is formidable. And he's got somebody to lean on.
Yes, definitely. It's nice to have 3 good shooters on a team, because then that way your strongest shooter doesn't have to shoot so much better than the other 2 to hopefully catch up the points. They can all rely on each other. When one drops the ball, the other 2 pick it up, or vice versa.
Which is what happened in London with you guys.
Yeah.
You, Jacob, Brady.
Yeah, not all 3 of us shot well at any given point. We all just kind of.
But when you needed a shot, somebody picked it up.
Exactly.
Somebody came up with the shot that you needed.
Exactly.
Korea picking up another point after those first 3 arrows of this end. Ota with a nice shot. Korea with a 10-point lead at the midway point in this match. Got off to a 5-point lead after the first 6 arrows.
9 points, just out of 10.
And like a machine, continue to relentlessly roll along, building on that lead. Tabata trying to cut into it, if he can.
Wind's definitely picking up out here. I can see it.
9 points, just out.
And they can feel it.
Yeah, it's going to make for an interesting afternoon for the individual competition.
When it really comes down to it, Jake, by the way, Jake KAMINSKI from Team USA, kind enough to join us here on our live stream of this recurve competition at the second stage of the Archery World Cup. When it comes down to it, how much of it is just a guessing game?
Compared to other shooting sports, our sport is a huge guessing game. You know, like in rifle competitions, they have these strings that go down in between every other target with a specific length of string that hang from it with a specific weighted fly on it, and it's actually calibrated for exactly, you could hold a wind meter next to it and it will tell you exactly what it is. And those flies are all the way down to the target, where we have just one windsock that's at 50 meters, and often it's covered by several obstructions. Like the wind gauge that the people at home are seeing on the screen is almost always behind a tent or something like that. So it's difficult to actually feel what the archers are feeling when you're at home. You have to really look at the other things. Look at that windsock there. That's a pretty heavy wind, and at least be aiming 7 line, maybe almost into the blue to hit the gold. That's over a foot off. That's a lot to aim off.
And one of the points we tried to make yesterday is that here in Antalya, they've set the grandstand up and the shooting line as such that midway down the course, that grandstand ends. And so now you don't have whatever windscreen the grandstand was providing.
Yep.
It's no longer there. So midway down towards the target, that arrow is going to become exposed to more wind conditions.
Yeah, exactly. And you definitely have to just take everything into account, all the flags, all the little the little streamers, everything that's in the area. And luckily, the shooters are semi-protected from the wind because of the grandstands, which definitely will help them execute a good shot and then just be able to do what they need to do to hopefully come out with a 10.
Both teams scoring 54 points in that third end, so the lead remains at 10. So credit to the team from Japan. By the way, Furukawa and Ojinyek having a nice little conversation right there.
Yeah.
They know each other well from their time at Lord's Cricket in London when they competed for the gold medal individually last fall at the Olympics.
So far for the entire match, no big changes, no big.
So heading down the home stretch in this gold medal match. Our final match this morning. After this match, we'll have the presentation of the medals, and then we'll take about a 2-hour break and come back for the mixed team matches as well as the individual matches, as Ota fires up a 9. And Furukawa follows with a 9. And Japan's starting to group a little bit better.
About 2 centimeters out of the 10 ring for the last 2 ends.
As Shungo Tabata, whose only other World Cup medal was a team bronze medal that he captured in 2010. Where else but right here in Antalya. Fist bumps, high fives. Good to see a smile on the face of Shungo Tabata, who was beaming in Shanghai last month when they put that bronze medal around his neck.
9, 10, 11.
Very, very close. They'll put a star by it, but it looks like it was in the 9 ring.
Yeah, I don't think it caught.
9, 10 liner. Actually, it looks like it might be just as close to the center as
Ojinyek, who thus far in the match has taken 6 shots. 5 of them have been bullseyes. 1 of them has been a 7. He's back inside the 10 ring now.
That's right.
I can't remember the last time I saw Ojinyek shoot a 7.
Probably was quite a while ago. It might have been here last year, because in the gold final with him versus Brady, it was so windy. I mean, a 7 was good in that wind. So
So what you're saying is it can happen to the best of them.
Oh, yeah.
2 arrows remaining for Japan.
Furukawa's final shot. And it's a good one.
Last shot.
And Tabata to take the last shot for Team Japan.
Nice shot.
And another nice shot for Tabata, 9 to finish it off.
214. Will that be enough to hold off?
So a respectable score for Japan.
3 arrows for gold.
Yeah, 214's not too bad in this wind.
There's a 10 for China. In fact, looking back at some of the scores, the men's team from China, in winning the bronze medal match, posted a score of 216. The Korean women posted a 221 as they won their gold medal.
Final arrow.
And the Ukrainian women had a score of 214. So the score of 214 for Japan, not too shabby.
Yeah, definitely the wind's picked up this as we're going on through these matches, so it's getting harder and harder to shoot these scores.
Of course, when you're up against the likes of Oh Jin-yek, Im Dong-hyung, and Lee Sung-yun, you got to bring your A game.
That's for sure.
Which is what Korea does just about every time out, and Korea comes away with another gold medal. It has been a golden morning here in Antalya, a Turkish delight, as it were, for the Koreans who get together for the group shot. And yes, they are #1 here at stage 2 in Antalya, Turkey. Lee Sung-yun on the left, Oh Jin-yek in the middle, and on the right, Im Dong-hyun, who, by the way, scored 699 points in the ranking round at the Olympics in London last year, breaking the world record he'd set earlier in the year here in Antalya. And right now, he's a little bit, standing in the shadows of Oh Jin-yek.
Yeah.
And yet he's still one of the greatest archers in the world.